Manuel Selassie, Ija, Rastafari, yeah. Today I have a new announcement. We are shifting, long time. Tony CP TV used to be known as Luo History TV. Yeah, it used to be called History TV, a Luo History Clinic. Now like a Luo History Clinic. But now we are shifting from Luo History Clinic to World History Clinic. And I have reasons to back up what I'm saying. So today, mark my words. So today, the viewers, we are shifting your consciousness now from being Luo history clinicians or people who are following the history clinic of the Luo to World History Clinic. Now, the history I bring to you today is a deleted history. It's a lost knowledge. For you, those who are seekers of ancient wisdom, listen to me very well and listen to me very clearly. I'm not joking. The true world history today is what I'm bringing. The true history of what took place in this earth. When I say billions of years, some people is like, they be like thinking I'm chasing the wind. But the truth is, I can say thousands of years. Our planet, this planet, was visited. This is how the whole story of this planet started, or the human being started. This planet was visited by a starship. And what landed? What came out of the starship were the Anunnaki. Anu is the word for God. That's why Ethiopia Anu, Ethiopia God, Ethiopia Roba, Ethiopia Nga, Ethiopia Anu. So Anu was the father God. Anu had two sons who were all gods. Now, at the end of the day, what happened? These people came from their starship because all these starships were created from a planet called as the Ritz planet, using Ritz technology. Even Atlantis, you will be shocked when you hear, when I tell you that Atlantis was just a ship, was a starship. Yeah, even Nibiru, their planet that they came from, is not actually a planet, it's a starship that was built from the Ritz planet using the Ritz technology. Mark my words. Researchers, you go and research. Those who like to prove people wrong. So what happened? These people wanted to save the atmosphere because the gadget they were using, let me use this word, Nibiru is not a planet. Nibiru is a gadget, it's a starship, virtual disk, it's round. It's round like a disk. So inside, it was being depleted, so they needed gold. So they decided to create human beings. So these gods, they were from the Lyra star system and they came from Sirius B, the original home of the gods. It's called Sirius B. There's a tribe in Mali called the Dogon tribe. They tell them that their ancestors, they came from the stars. Mark my words. These pyramids were not built by human beings, especially the ones in Egypt. The Luo people only helped. In fact, the Luo were very lucky. The Luo only helped in the building of the pyramids. Actually, the architects, the engineers, they were the Anunnakis. That's why I respect to Ethiopia. Ethiopia is only the word Ethiopia is preserving. The lineage or the heritage of the Anunnaki. What happened? The Anunnaki decided to create human beings. That's why I said human beings, they are the highest piece of technology. And what was the mission of human beings? To mine gold. What was the mission of human beings? To mine gold. Now, in between the gods family now, there were two gods who were the sons of all Anu. There was Enki and there was Enlil. Now Enki is the god that people call the Christ or the Black Christ. He wanted human beings to become like gods. He wanted, after human beings finish their project here, they also visit their own planet, Sirius B. They wanted human beings to ascend. Enki wanted that. But Enlil was a jealous god. Enlil was a brother to Enki. Now these sons of Anu, because all of them, they came with the same mission, to collect gold, to go and save their starship, which is Nibiru. So there was war that broke out. War broke out between Enki and Enlil. What happened? What happened? This guy had to kill Enlil, had to kill Enki. This is the story of Christ. And the wife of Enlil, the wife of Enki, known as Isis, resurrected Enki. He chopped the man into 14 pieces because of jealousy. Why? Because he wanted human beings to become like gods. And that was a crime. He was very jealous. That's why Enlil is that jealous god who caused the flooding of the earth, and he blocked the stargates. That could make human beings connect with interdimensions. By the way, we are only talking about the stars. There's inner earth. There's also life in inner earth. You don't know this. We have not been told in our history classrooms at the schools. So, what took place on this real earth? Human beings. In fact, the stories, whether you're a Christian, you're a Muslim, listen to me. I'm not dealing with religion right now. I'm dealing with facts, reality. That's why you mark my words. How comes the pyramids? They're aligning to the star constellation called as Orion. Exactly. The pyramids, that means the Anunnakis, they're the ones who help the Egyptians, or they're the ones who help the Luos to set up the pyramids. That means the Luos were visited by beings, and these beings were called the Anunnakis. They were very tall beings. They were very tall gods, black melanated gods, very tall. They had dreadlocks. They came from Sirius B star constellation. This is not written in the history books. Nobody is telling us about extraterrestrials who visited the earth. And these people are so advanced in technology. So advanced in technology. So advanced. And they came with super technology to the earth. That's why the grip of the pyramids, it is in perfect alignment with the star constellation of Orion. The grip of the pyramids is not by mistake. If the pyramids was, if one block was missing, the pyramid would not be in that shape. Can you imagine that perfection? Can you imagine that perfection? So this is the history that I want my people to know. Now the good news is, human beings, we are not children, we are born here. We are a child of the stars. Yeah, because like I said, there's inner earth, inside the earth here. There are inner earth cities. For example, Agatha, inside here. Those who like to research, do your research. So when you're living on earth here, you just think there's life here. No. So the history that is written in the Bible, the history that is written, just sparks of the truth. Sparks of the truth. So today I reveal to you the real truth, the real history of how human beings became created. We were created with a supreme DNA code. DNA code. Yeah, man. Divine code. Yes, man. The D stands for divinity. Yes, man. You see? And the A in the end of the DNA stands for activation. You know what I mean? Yeah, so we be dropping jewels. We ain't joking on the internet. Some of y'all people be looking for comments. Nah, man. This is real history we speaking. Real history, dropping jewels. This is the true world history of what took place in this earth that we are living in. This earth. So, I want to reveal this truth. There was a time in history when the whole earth was one landmass. And that time was known as Pangaea. Pangaea. Pangaea! By the way, when they say they took slaves from Africa and took them to America How comes Mississippi River is exactly like the Nile River? There's Egypt. There's Egypt in America and there's Egypt in Africa. Is it a coincidence? Think about what I'm saying. I'm not mad. Think about what I'm saying. Let those people in the US, because I have followers worldwide, you let them prove me wrong. Yes, man. Right. Just like we have 12 stargates. We have stargates in the US, at Arizona, yeah. And we have also stargates like at the Giza Pyramid in Egypt. You know what I mean? How comes there's Egypt in Memphis, or Egypt in the US, and Egypt in Africa? Now, there is this river now, this river Nile, and this is exactly what is there in the US. Now, when you have to bring the map of US, you see Morocco is aligning. Yes, it's aligning. So what happened? They are not telling us history. It is after the fall of Atlantis. Because the time of Pangaea, there was a mighty empire known as Atlantis. That's why the World Atlas, that instrument, the Atlas, they built it after Atlantis. That's how the continent splitted. Yes. This is the world history. They never teach us. So give thanks to Tony CP TV in conjunction with the mighty King. King times 10,000, King Jafaya. King times 10,000, King. Because I'm not king now for the Luo. I'm king for humanity. Because we'll be dropping jewels. This is history that will make humankind remember that we are one family. Remember, there was a time when we spoke one language. It's very funny, but very true. I tell you the truth. And the time of Pangaea, the time of Atlantis. So, this is World History Clinic. We have shifted the consciousness from Low History Clinic into World History Clinic. Stay tuned for more teachings. Bagyo Benda, respect. Tony CP, Holy Emmanuel Selassie, Jah, Rastafari, non-stop teachings.
Selassie.